Spirited Away is a 2001 Ghibli film by Hayao Miyazaki, and it's a film about a little girl named Chihiko. I think that's her name, Chihiko. Uh, and it's basically starts out with our parents, kind of entering this tunnel. Like they just stopped the car all of a sudden, and then they just kind of follow this tunnel, and then the little girl kind of just follows her parents because she's a little girl. They enter the village, and then there's some odd things going on, and her parents aren't really picking up the odd vibe that's happening here, and the father and the mother, they kind of just smell like this delicious food, and then they sit down and inside the village, and then they kind of just eat this food with nobody appearing there really, and all of a sudden they get transformed into pigs, except for the little girl Chihiko. Uh, but the parents get transformed into pigs, and then the little girl gets warned by like a magical boy. I actually forget his name. I'm not gonna remember it. Uh, by a magical boy. I'm just gonna call him Magic Boy. He basically warns her to leave the village, but by that point it's kind of like fuck all, too late, and her parents basically fucked her over, and now she's stuck here, and it's not a normal village. It's a village filled with I guess like oni or demons or spirits. I mean, the movie's called Spirited Away, so um, I don't know, the spirits. I guess I didn't pick up all the subtleties in this film. Okay, uh, I'm just going off the cuff here, and basically she kind of has to do what like the magical boy says, who basically tells her to meet like the witch lady, like the big ass nose witch lady. Her. She has to like go visit her and basically work for her, or some shit. Like convince her to work for her so that she doesn't end up like her parents or turn into coal or something like that. And the film kind of goes off from there. Uh, Really, I don't know how else to describe the film unless I were to spoil it. Which, even if I were to spoil it, I wouldn't know how to describe this film. It's just a really odd movie. It's kind of like among the likes of Paprika. It's similar to that, but not really. When I say it's similar, it's kind of like similar in terms of like the vibe of it. It's not like the same plot or anything like that. Uh, it's kind of just a very out there movie. Like you feel like when you watch this film, it kind of feels like one of those movies where by the end it would be like, oh, it was all a dream, or something like that. But it's like, no, this movie is just really dreamlike, and just filled with a lot of I suppose like Japanese imagery and references that I don't think I'd really catch. Uh, and yeah, lots of stuff like that, and it really plays it up, and you can really tell because of how just bizarre this movie is, and really that's the best word I can use to describe this film. It's just really bizarre. It's really well animated, but it is just really strange. Uh, if there's anything I'd like to note about this film is that the main character Chihiko, I have to admit, in the first half of this film, she is maybe this is just a nitpick. Maybe this is just like a critique of mine. She is very insufferable in that first half. Once you watch the second half, she grows on you a little bit more. But the best word I can use to describe her is like she's very passive, And I don't really mind passive characters. Like I feel like stuff like that is fine. It's just it depends on how you do it. And in this film, it kind of does teeter totter between me liking this character and me kind of liking her in the end. I liked her better as it went on. That's the best words I can use to describe it. It's just like, and I understand it because she's a little girl. I'm supposedly like 10, 9 years old, or something like that. Um, but there are times where she is just very clumsy and and kind of ditzy. I think even the film itself kind of points out that she's just dense in the head. Like you kind of assume she has like some form of fucking autism or some shit. Like the like the lack of the lack of any type of confidence in his character. While I get it's intentional, it kind of just comes off as like uh, her just feeling uh, just very empty-headed. I guess would be the best words to describe it. I can't say I was a big fan of that. Uh, Even though I understand it's supposed to be a whimsical type of film. The main character, uh, I don't know. Took me a while to really grow on me. I think I said that like fucking 5 times. I don't know what's wrong with me. Anyway, uh, overall, the way I describe this film is that it's very whimsical, magical, uh, kind of, just one of those Ghibli films where you're along the ride and you're just there to see what ends up happening with this character. That sort of thing. Maybe there's like a slight romance here or there. Maybe it's kind of implied. I don't really know. But yeah, overall, my thoughts on this film is that it's okay. It's an okay film. Not my favorite Ghibli film, which isn't really saying much because I haven't really watched many Ghibli films. I've only watched like Ponyo, Princess Mononoke, which I actually liked Princess Mononoke from what I've seen of that. That's actually a pretty good film. I actually think I like that the more I think about it. Spirited Away. This is, by the way, this is like a first impressions thing. Uh, just watching it for the first time, I'm kind of like, it's okay. It's okay. Uh, if I were to rate it, I'd say it's like a 6, maybe 7. If it pisses people off, I'll say it's like a 7. Don't get mad at me, please. But overall, it's like it's okay. I'd say give it a watch. It's definitely worth a watch. It's beautifully animated. I'll give it that. Main character's kind of a bitch. I'm sorry, I had to say it. Uh, but she does get better a little bit. And yeah,